EKRA applies really broadly. The term laboratory has the meaning under CLIA, so it is not limited to toxicology labs that, you would think would be the target under this Support Act, because it was targeted to address the opioid epidemic and concerns as to the substance abuse space. As we've seen, there was some thought that laboratories would be limited based on the legislative history to toxicology, but many of the indictments coming down have been in COVID-19 and RPP testing, as well as in the PGX, CGX space. So it's really important to remember that even if you're not a toxicology lab, you do need to be concerned about EKRA, because the statute, by the definition, includes all clinical laboratories. So one of the main issues and questions that we discuss when we just talk about EKRA is commission-based compensation. Going back to the anti-kickback statute, historically labs have been able to pay their sales and marketing staff percentage-based compensation if they were employees, not if they were independent contractors, but if they were a bona fide employee, you had a lot of latitude as to how you could pay your sales and marketing staff. There may be, changes based on state law, but historically that was the industry standard. EKRA came and turned that on its head, because not only does it prohibit an employee, but it also prohibits independent contractors. And it specifically lays out 3 criteria that you cannot pay your employees or independent contractors, which is particularly important in the sales and marketing space. You can't pay based on the number of individuals referred to the lab, the number of tests or procedures performed, or probably the most important, the amount billed to a healthcare benefit program by a lab. And healthcare benefit program is not only federal payors, but it also includes commercial payers. So this is the other major difference between EKRA and the anti-kickback statute, is that it's not just federal payers anymore. It's also your commercial payers. So far, most of the public indictments have all been federal dollars and federal payments, but I can imagine that commercial payers are going to use this in their audits as yet another way to go after and negotiate repayments and recoveries from labs based on this particular space. The other major difference is personal service and management contracts. So this exception under the anti-kickback statute was how you could have independent contractors do various work for the laboratory. It does have a variety of requirements, but have recently changed under the most recent promulgation of the regulations, but EKRA did not follow suit. So the EKRA statute says, as it relates to independent contractors and using the personal service and management contract safe harbor, that the payment has to meet the requirements of the anti-kickback statute safe harbor as an effect of the date of the enactment of this section, i.e., what the safe harbor was for the anti-kickback statute in October of 2018. So that's very different than what is currently being done with the changes to the personal service and management contracts under the anti-kickback statute. So that just means that you, as a lab, have to make sure that you're complying with both, which means you might not be able to take advantage of the newer regulations and some of the opportunities they provided for different payment mechanisms under the new safe harbor under the anti-kickback statute, because if you have to comply with EKRA, you have to do it with the historical view.